Okay, part 2 of the newsletter build. Here we go. So now we actually need to build a newsletter, and we don't want to do this manually. We want to do this leveraging as much AI automation as possible. At least 95%, I'd really prefer 100. So first thing we need is an API key from Beehive. So I just went into Beehive, under my account, go into settings and then API key. When you click on it, it wants you to verify you are who you say you are. So it'll show up a QR code, point your camera at it, say grant access, and then you have to show it your ID. So I'm going to use my phone, take the front, okay, flip it over, take the back, and then submit photo. And then you got to take a selfie, turn to the right, turn to the left. They're reviewing the details. You can return to your device. Okay, continue on this device. Once you verify yourself, you'll see your API key right on your screen. Go ahead and copy that. Next, we're going to need Google's API key because that's going to be the engine that's going to do all the brain power for us. So go to aistudio.google.com and then you land here. Go ahead and accept, get API key. Let's create one specifically for Beehive. Create key and then copy API key right here. And then go ahead and save that as well. Now we need to find the RSS feeds that are going to provide the content of the news. So news agencies or individual journalists will create the latest and greatest articles on AI, for example, and then post it to their Substack or forums or somewhere on a news site. And so it's our job to go find that latest and greatest information and then consolidate it into an easy to digest format and plug it into our newsletter. So let's see if we can go to TechCrunch. See, for example, on TechCrunch, one of the latest headlines 2 hours ago, Jensen Huang says NVIDIA is pulling back from OpenAI and Anthropic. That sounds pretty interesting. We could use that for our newsletter. And then Anthropic CEO throwing shade at OpenAI because they lost a contract. Also dubbed a supply chain risk that cannot be good for Claude. Okay, I mean, this is good stuff. So let's keep that link close. Okay, I was going to go to Substack to find some more feeds. We really don't need it. Beehive is a direct competitor of Substack. Substack just charges, I think it's like $10 a month on the lower plan, whereas Beehive is free. So I think I'm going to stick with TechCrunch for now. Okay, now we can go to make.com. And then make.com is a piece of software that connects other softwares together. And it has thousands of integrations, so it can connect with just about any software out there. And so we're going to come over here, create scenario. The first thing we want is a webhook. A webhook is the door to access this workflow that we're creating. Let's do a custom webhook, and we probably want to create a new one. So let's go add, and let's give it a name. So this one's going to be Sonnet Poll Foots. This is Sonnet Combinator. So when we send out our newsletter and then we have some kind of a poll in there saying, hey, answer yes if you like this, answer no if you don't like that, that information needs to go somewhere. And so we're going to have that information go to this webhook, and then we'll organize it accordingly. But this is the front door where we want that information to arrive. So hit save and then save. Great. Now it's going to give us this URL. So anytime we send information to this webhook, it's going to show up right here. So let's save that to the side as well. Let's also give this a name. Let's call it newsletter poll. Okay, this is all preliminary stuff. So we got an API key from Beehive. We have both versions, V1 and V2. They're both on the screen, so we copied both of them. Then we copied the Gemini API key, which is going to be the brains of this whole project. And then we got a news source, TechCrunch, where we're going to get the latest and greatest articles. And then we built a webhook because we want to be able to catch the polling data after we send the newsletter out. So now let's build a scenario that's going to generate our newsletter. So let's go to scenarios. Let's create a new one. Go and save this. Save anyway, because we're going to come back to this later, and then create scenario. Yeah, the first one is actually tools. Trigger sounds like a more intuitive name, but it's actually tools. And then it's going to be a basic trigger, or no, wait, is it time schedule? Okay, it's going to be a basic trigger. Yeah, here we go. And see how is this clock next to it? That'll allow us to set a time for it to execute. So let's click on that, and we'll say at regular intervals. So every day, because we're doing this daily, and I need some time to set this up. Let's just put it for the morning. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for, but let's just say like 2:35. And then save. We don't want to activate anything yet, but that's just the trigger to get it going every day. Okay, now let's see if there's some kind of a scraping tool for RSS feed maybe. Here we go. Retrieve RSS feed items. Okay, let's do that. Let's see if our URL for TechCrunch is gonna work here. I was hoping it would like test it. Enter URL that points to a valid RSS or Atom export. Yeah, I don't know. Is this where you have to put feed at the end? I don't know. I'm gonna try that. Let's say feed and then from. No, I don't think. Hopefully that's not a requirement. Let's go with maximum number. Yeah, to see the red asterisk, that's required. So let's say maximum 5. So find 5 articles from this link and we say save. Okay, so hopefully that URL format works. If it doesn't, that's the first thing we're going to troubleshoot. Okay, let's go ahead and aggregate all of the text together. Is there a text aggregator? Here we go. Text aggregator. So that's going to bring all of the data between the 5 articles into one giant blob. Let's see if we can grab, here we go, RSS retriever. So we're getting the data from this node. And then the text, we need the title and description. Sounds about right. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Title and description is what we grabbed. I don't know if we need summary. Definitely don't need all this other stuff. Image would have been nice. I'm going to grab the URL. The image URL, because I was thinking about adding a picture for each article, but if it comes with a public URL, the image would just come along with the article, which would be perfect. Okay, so let's go with those 3 and save. So now, theoretically, every night this runs. What does it do? It goes out to TechCrunch and grabs the top 5 articles. Then it puts all those articles together under title, description, and the image URL in this aggregator. Let's see if we can connect Gemini to this thing. Let's find Google AI. Oh, there it is. Google Gemini AI. Perfect. And we need to generate content of some kind. Do we have generate? Generate response for provided input. That might work. And I might actually have a Gemini connection. Add. Let's throw in our API key here. And if it's correct, it'll go ahead and connect. Okay, looks like it liked it. Now we need a good enough model. 3.1 is the best, right? 3.1 Pro right now. So Gemini is saying 1.5 is more than enough. 1.5 seems like it's deprecated. I think I'm gonna go with 2.5 Flash. Let's go with that. Okay, for messages, I just kept user in here. Let's go to system instructions. It's not required. How about prompt? Add system prompt. Okay, now here we need to actually put in a prompt. Okay, so let's start putting things in here. So you are the editor of Sonic Combinator. Read these news summaries, which we're gonna get from the tools. So right here, all the aggregator stuff, and then write a 3-section newsletter. Section 1, in AI controversy. Section 2, a business automation idea. Section 3, a poll asking, will AI replace your job? And then generate 2 HTML buttons for the poll. That's gonna be good. And then here is where we would put in the webhook. Perfect. Because we want the response from the poll to go to our other scenario. The no button link must be also to the same spot. 1 second. Vote no. Okay, so vote yes and vote no would come to this webhook. Clean escaped HTML is the output. Perfect. Okay, I think the rest is pretty good. As in, we don't need to update anything. Hit save. Okay, so far so good. Theoretically, it should work all the way up to here. And if we run into issues, we'll troubleshoot it one by one. Okay, so now if we have our articles, we now need to push them to Beehive. And so that's why we have our Beehive API. Let's see if they have Beehive already. Oh, they do. Beautiful. Show more. Okay, it says make an API call, but I don't know if that's good enough. Don't know why they don't have a very obvious, like make a post. Maybe they don't want you to. Yeah, let's just see. Make an API call. Let's connect. And we have our, we might be able to do OAuth. No. We'll need API key here. Because OAuth would be if we are interacting right now to try to log in and we don't expect to be here. So let's throw in our Beehive version 2 API key here. Okay, that's in. We also need a publication ID. Right, let's go see where our publication ID is. Publication ID is the first API key that I thought was an API key I copied. So we got publication ID, save. 401. The key is not valid. Okay, that worked. So API key needs to be valid. Okay, and where are we posting things? We're posting it here with our publication ID copied to right here. Great. API version 2. method is going to be a post because we're putting something, we're posting to be. Okay, for the key, let's go with authorization. Okay, and the value is going to be bearer and then space and then the full API key for Beehive. Okay, now what are we posting? Okay, Sonic Combinator. It's a daily automation edge. That sounds cool for a newsletter name. Status draft, blocks, type, and then the text itself needs to come from the aggregator or no, from Gemini, the result. Here we go. Let's do that. Okay, and then save. Okay, let's hit save. Yeah, that's because nothing's really run right now. So let's see, run once. What happens? Something's empty. You have to add something in here. You know, time, run. It's weird. It's a limitation of make. You just got to put something in there and then save and then run. Okay, operation failed with an error. So the first 3 ran, which means they got something. Okay, so that's good. The URL worked. I got 5 articles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the aggregator worked and it put it together in this. Okay. 1 bundle. So Gemini failed here. Why did it fail? Do that to Gemini. Okay, so that went in just right. Okay, I just said ignore all errors and then let's see what happens here. I feel like this might be a problem with the HTML code. Aha, okay. Now it's generating something. So runs at a trigger, goes and collects the articles, aggregates all of the articles, puts it into a format for the newsletter, and it passed this node now, but then errored out at Beehive. So let's click on this, see what the error is. Runtime error. Well, we made it this far. We got a trigger to run. We got it to pull the latest articles. We got it to aggregate all of those articles and then give Gemini the ability to convert them into a nice, beautiful HTML format, which we would be able to post. But then the problem is we can't post it. So I've tried a bunch of different things. There's some problems with this Beehive node. I've tried an HTTP node, and I need to troubleshoot a little bit more. I don't know if Beehive is just blocking automations from coming in. Could be the case. I don't know. But we'll continue to troubleshoot in the next video. Stay tuned. If you want to do this yourself and you just need a little bit of help, join my Skool community, use my high-level affiliate link, and I will help you. Revenue that I generate from that, 20% of it goes into paid ads, and the leads, I share them with my community. With my affiliate link, you get a 30-day extended trial, plus a bootcamp that you can go through. I have a 15-part course that gets you from initial idea all the way to operational agency. You'll get hundreds of pre-built AI agents ready to go, workflows, automations, website templates. I also have 40+ businesses and marketing courses that you can then sell to your members. I'm heavily involved in my community. I join 7 days a week so you can have one-on-ones with me where we can build things, we can do think tanks and come up with business ideas. You can even join my businesses where I show you what I'm doing day in and day out. Everything is completely free until I get to maximum capacity. Join now.